This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
You know, when people like reach out and ask for help and it's something as simple as, hey, shipping her a box of tampons.
The one thing about this girl is she's never asked me for anything. She may have hinted about tampons.
You can hint about them, you know, just don't ask somebody about them, you know. It's the 1st of December, 2020. Only a few more days left in this month, in this year. This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. Joining me in the studio tonight, two very special guests. I've had them on each separately, but now I get them both in the studio. I have Tony and George. Guys, welcome to the podcast again.
What's going on, Corey? What's going on, Tony?
What's up, Corey? George?
What's going on?
Not much.
Good things going on today, of course. With my life and your guys' as well. We talked a little bit about the holidays, and I know, Tony, you kind of want to get into that a little bit more, which we can do in a little bit. But first, I have to ask you guys, because you both like helping people. Mm-hmm. Has a woman ever asked you to buy her feminine products?
Yes.
For her downstairs. Ooh. Yes? How'd that go, Tony? What happened?
I went to, I think it was CVS, and it was weird because I went in there just to buy the tampons, and it was the only thing I was buying, of course. So then I went up to the register, and the lady's looking at me like, "Oh, who are these for? Are these for you, or are you getting them for someone?" I'm like, "No, I'm buying them for a girlfriend." So yeah, it was interesting.
I would fear not buying the tampon. Whatever.
That was a little fearful for me to do that.
Wait, was it a girlfriend or is this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. But I would worry about, like, because what if you went in active addiction and you, like for me, that would involve like a half gallon of liquor and then a box of tampons. What would you think?
Man.
Yeah, exactly. You think, oh, he's a boofer. Because I've heard of this, but I've never done it. I was always kind of too afraid, and I don't know. Ever since the incident that happened when I was younger, that's kind of exit only thing.
Yeah,
that sounded really bad the way I just set that up. But it's not like it sounded. But as a doctor once told me, there's shit in there. So
very true.
Yeah, you put it that way, man. Think about it. You know, that's what's in there. So, but I have heard of vaping alcohol. Now, I'm not talking about like pouring it in your little vape that you got down at the old vape shop. But no, like when I had the whole liver failure thing, it was right before that because I was having a lot of pain and something came across the news and like I got paid to be on the radio, but really I got paid to just surf the internet to find interesting things that I was going to talk about on my show. It would just be looking at dumb stuff and people walk by. I'm like, it's show prep, bro. Doing show prep. You know, and they're like, and thongs. I'm like, gotta do show prep, man. And I came across this vaping of alcohol. And I thought, wow, that would probably save my life, you know. And the more I read about it, didn't sound safe at all. It sounded like you might as well go huff something, you know, like you're putting this into your brain, you know, and it's direct shot, you know, pretty much. And
yeah.
People were talking about, oh, it's like a head buzz. It only lasts for like 30 seconds and then boom, you know, you got a headache. I'm like, yeah, see, that's not fun.
Yeah, no.
And they were like, we're opening bars across Europe. And I'm like, why for that? Like, we should just open up a shop where we kick people in the nuts. Oh, man, it feels really good afterward, though. You know, we need to go to England. We could probably sell that to them. Oh, no, man, you need a nut job. Yeah, that's what it is. Then stand right there. Wow. Oh, God. Oh, it's going to feel so good. Here, vape this. Which one's worse? I don't know. There's money to be had, I'm telling you. Them foreigners, we can take them. Sorry for people listening in England right now, but I'm just saying. New Zealand people are laughing. They're like, hey, mate, you spot on with that, eh? Spot on. Spot on. Appreciate you listening, James, dear, and your crew. James, I don't know if you guys have seen the stuff that he's been doing, but he has it's like a video cast podcast. It's called Break the Chain, but he reached out a long time ago. We just kind of started talking, and you know, he's over there in New Zealand and they're doing great things, and he wants to make like worldwide stuff. And it's funny because when he started doing meetings, like every Thursday he does a meeting, and if you're interested, I'll send you the link because James sends it to me every week, and I was able to attend one, but it's really interesting because they all talk funny. And I told them that. I think Marnie was like, "You're so stupid. Like you're the only one that's in there with an English accent." And they're all like, "Oh yeah, man, this is 4-9." I'm like, "What? Is he saying numbers?" And they were actually saying words. It was really weird. And she was just like, "You're the only one that was." They thought you talked funny. I'm like, "No, they didn't, because I talked normal. Like they could understand the words that were coming out of my mouth. I couldn't understand a word they were saying." But it was interesting though, and the fact that addiction and the problems that they were facing. Same stuff, man. That's how it's like, okay, addiction's addiction.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if it's meth, doesn't matter if it's coke, alcohol, weed even. I'll throw that in there.
Yep.
Meth, it doesn't matter, man. Addiction's addiction. And when it has us, it has us. And that's such a scary feeling that we don't have to face today. We could choose to. Like at this point in my life and in my recovery, which is, coming up on 2 years, people, and they have this discussion of, oh, is it a choice? It is a disease. Well, it is a disease. The way it changes our brain chemistry, and it changes it from survival to, oh, gotta have more of this.
Right.
And as far as the choice, we didn't choose to be addicts. We didn't choose to, take a hit of meth and then just be gone.
Right.
Yeah, did someone put it in our face? And sure, especially when I was younger, I heard weed was so bad, man. You smoke that, you're going to screw your life up. I smoked it. That wasn't that bad. You're telling me meth's that bad, coke's that bad? I don't believe any of it. Let me try it.
Right.
So when you try it, and sometimes you just get hooked immediately on some drugs and some things, like alcohol. It's like, oh, yeah, we're partying, we're doing this. Oh, girlfriend dumped me. Oh, yeah, got a new job. Hey, yeah, party. And next thing you know, football's on, baseball's on. I'm watching NASCAR. You know why? Because I'm drinking today. Right. Hell yeah, going deer hunting. Go Junior. I was one of those guys. But, just from it being that standpoint of it, I don't think it's a choice. We didn't choose to become addicted to, our substance of choice. So, but at the same time, either one of us could leave here today and choose to pick right back up.
Right.
That would be a choice that we have.
Yep.
Especially when you get some clean time, it's like, okay, like you do have a choice when you're driving home and you're thinking, man, I went this way 10 times and I didn't go to the liquor store, but you know what, today, wife's not home, kids are gone, it's a holiday, and, maybe I lost a loved one and I'm told to isolate. You know what? No one's going to know. And damn it, I deserve it. Yeah, your brain's lying to you because it's not going to be good. Nothing good's going to happen. It's not going to be just that night or that weekend. You'll go full-fledged right back into it. Oh, no, I didn't that weekend. Okay. Oh, so you're going to try it next weekend too. Okay, well, just trust me on this. That's how it's going to end up. Unless you immediately go get help, which we don't really want to do at that point. Like, oh, man, everybody thinks I'm doing great, and I got to go get help again? Like, oh, man. So, anyway, I like how we came out firing, at least I did, about recovery. That's what's up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with that. I feel like even when you do get clean, there's still, for a certain amount of time, there's still an obsession. And that's how, at least that's how my brain works. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an obsession about my drug of choice or another substance. It could be about women. It could be about gambling. I just, for some reason, was blessed with this wonderful brain that is just very chaotic. I feel like it's chaos, and the only way, for me to arrest it is to talk to people like you and to be involved in recovery and to make it my priority. So I think you said it's a choice at first. Once it's put in your face, it's that initial time, but what happens to me after, I have zero control over it. I just take off, and it's like that with a lot of different things. So yeah, I got a beautiful brain.
I agree with that. I think, we always have those times where you think, well, this will be my last time. This will be my last time. And you've had 999 last times, they never end, So there's often a time, whether it's grief or sorrow, or we'll say, well, I'll just do it one more time. That's it. Or sometimes even in rewarding situations, like you got a new job or you got a higher paying job or you got a new apartment, and I'm just going to do it one last time to celebrate, as an award. But it never turns into one last time. It turns into, much more, an addiction and using it more. And it always goes downhill. Like you said, it doesn't end up good, in the end.
Right. I feel like you find, you almost find an excuse to use for everything, like you just said, for NASCAR. You probably didn't even like NASCAR.
Hated it.
Right.
And then,
But it just made it better, right? So I'm going to, so, and again, it could be a death in the family or a breakup or, the worst thing, but I was different too. I could be having the best day in the world and everything's going great, but I wanted to amplify that day. I wanted to make it a little bit better. So, there's an excuse, and at least for me, it was always an excuse to why I would do it, but it was just because I have that addict brain, and it lies to me and it makes excuses and said this would make it better or this is going to help your horrible situation or whatever the case is. So yeah,
same here. Yep.
do you guys ever blame other people? Like it's your fault that I'm doing
Oh yeah, it was always someone else's fault. It was never my fault. So I always found someone to blame, or there was always someone I could pick to blame. But I never blamed myself or took accountability or responsibility.
It kind of goes for making excuses and then blaming, because I've been hearing a lot of people like blame. You can blame your wife. You can blame your hard day at work. You can, this is the reason why the house is messy. I come home and there's diapers everywhere. And, I can't do that. I've been working all day. And if your job is stressing you out like that, hey, what can you control about the situation? And one of us here, actually 2 of us here, maybe 3 of us here, kind of going through some things where, one of us, maybe 2 of us, maybe all of us have made a choice to take a frustrating situation that we're dealing with and do what we can control about it. Yours truly decided to do that last week, and I was like, you know what, this situation, it's not going the way it's not that it's not going the way that I want it to go, but just how I was feeling inside, it wasn't good. And I don't like feeling like that. Sure. What can I control about the situation? I'll remove myself from it. So I did. Another one of us kind of did the same thing where, there's something happening and he's just like, something's got to change. This isn't me and this isn't what my future I want it to look like. So I'm making a change. And then the other one's kind of like, I can't wait to make that change. Now, who's thinking that among those 2? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you. But just
Suspense.
in case, some people listen, some people don't. Maybe I'm making this all up just because I like to talk smack. Who knows? But that deer hunting story, because Tony, you didn't hear it, and George was like, oh, you got to hear it. And that was the first time I kind of listened to the whole thing back, and oh my God, it was
awesome.
so spot on.
That was hilarious.
I didn't remember it. It was just like that, though.
That was hilarious.
Man, you could narrate stories and do stuff like that. Get into different characters. Yeah, I was dying when I heard that. That was hilarious.
Me too.
I think I called myself Cody in there actually once.
Yeah, you did. I noticed that because you said Cody, and I'm like, who's Cody? Where did he come from?
And then I made reference to a deer. I don't even remember what kind of deer I called it, or that I don't know if I said stinking deer and it just came out weird. I don't know, but I was like, what did I just call that deer? I was like, all right, that's weird. I'm just making up words. And
Cody
when we got to Buckley.
Oh yeah, man.
Just a different guy when we got up in northern Michigan.
Different character, yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you about the one time I was in treatment. I was in treatment up in Boyne Falls, and this dude was in there. He actually lives in Traverse City now. His name is George. Different George. George he called himself, I was the raisin in the oatmeal. He was the only black guy that was in the treatment center up there. And so he's like, I'm the raisin in the oatmeal. But he gets up and, when you left there, it was called a coin out, where everybody would pass around a coin, say some nice things about you, and then you would get the coin at the end, and you'd have a minute or 10 or whatever you wanted to take to, kind of talk about everybody else. Well, this guy gets up there, and he's like, man, I'm the raisin in the oatmeal, blah, 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 and I'm never going to forget you guys and this and that, and, I'm never going to forget you, buddy. Hey, Chris, in the back, Chris. And I'm like, he's like, I'm never going to forget you, dog, and then everybody just kind of looks around like it was very uncomfortable, and I was like, okay. I was going to correct him, like, well, my name's not Chris, but don't ever forget me. So people, they still to this day, there's a few of them. I know Kendra was one of them. She's like, yeah, what's up, Chris? Like, I'll never forget you, dog, It's like, yeah, that happened. But I don't know where I went with that, but I don't know. It's fun at treatment, I guess. Yeah. Did you have fun in your treatment centers?
No, honestly, I didn't. I feel like I guess certain people you can joke around with. It takes a certain type for me to, I got a lot of sarcasm to me, so you can find some fun, but Nothing like I'm